Queen Victoria ruled Great Britain, Ireland, and the largest empire in the world for 63 years and 216 days. Public tastes follow the preferences of the rich and powerful. Queen Victoria wasn't a big fan of change, so fashionable society, morality, arts, and beauty remained much the same for decades. In 1901, Queen Victoria died, making her skirt-chasing party animal son, Edward VII, king and emperor. Society changed to reflect Edward's more licentious tastes. Fashion, art, literature, and morals became a bit looser. Comedy got a little bawdier, men got more democratic, and women got feistier, riding bicycles, smoking tobacco, and demanding the vote. Before Victoria's death, it was generally agreed that the most beautiful and alluring woman in the Western world was actress-singer Anna Held. Anna Held's divine figure was enhanced by an impossibly strict Victorian corset. Anna's stage personality was the French flirt, singing songs that hinted at innocent lust, while her expressive eyes promised not-so-innocent lust. Songs like "I Can't Make My Eyes Behave" and "Kiss, Kiss, Kiss." Anna Held first became famous in Paris, then conquered America in 1896, immediately becoming the darling of the critics. In no time, Anna was a big star, touring America to much notoriety, under the management of husband, producer, and publicist Flo Ziegfeld. With Ziegfeld's help, Anna Held became the fevered dream of every testosterone-soaked stage door Johnny from the Hippodrome of New York to the Orpheum in San Francisco and all points in between. About the time Queen Victoria died, the cracks in the Ziegfeld-Held marriage became obvious. As with most couples, they battled over money, the making of it and the spending of it. Anna was practical, working non-stop, saving and investing her considerable salary. Ziegfeld spent and gambled, always broke, usually in deep debt. Debts inevitably paid off by Anna Held. In an attempt to save their marriage, they went on vacation to Europe in 1905 and were gone over a year. In Anna's absence from the stage, other alluring beauties stepped forward and presented themselves for the public to adore and desire. Uncorseted, hair down, magnetic, sex symbols for the new century. Women like these, the 5 most desired beauties in the first decade of the 20th century, 1900 to 1909. Number 5. Lily Elsie. Lily Elsie, singer and actress, was born Elsie Hodder in Yorkshire, England. Elsie began performing professionally as a child on the music hall circuit under the name of Little Elsie. Elsie soon moved onto the legitimate stage, working extensively in London with frequent tours across England. At age 14 in 1900, she had outgrown the stage name Little Elsie, and so changed it to Lily Elsie, her new permanent stage name. Like all overnight sensations, Lily Elsie put in years of hard work as a chorus girl and supporting player until starring in The Merry Widow and the sudden international fame that show brought her. And once noticed, Lily Elsie was not easily forgotten. As told in Australia's Southern Argus and Wagon Arthur Express on June 29, 1909. Lily Elsie is more than the Sonia of the opera. She is the whole opera. She is the incarnation of its brightness and lightness, its amorous grace, its joyous sentiment, and its slumbering passion. She appeals to the erotic romance that is hidden in the heart of every playgoer. Rich and powerful men clamored for Lily's attention. Millionaires sent her the finest jewels, which she always accepted, and invitations for dates that she rarely accepted. "I have never been fool enough to give my heart to one of them," she told a friend, "and so they think it must be worth having." Manuel, bachelor King of Portugal, was visiting London so that King Edward could introduce him to British princesses, potential queens. But Edward's matchmaking ended when Manuel attended a performance of The Merry Widow. As the Philadelphia Inquirer told its readers on December 5, 1909, "It was an incautious moment that it was suggested that Manuel see the play at this theater, and it was noted that while there he had eyes for no one but the pretty little actress. He attended the play 3 times while in London, and he afterwards declared that Lily Elsie was the most beautiful and the most fascinating woman he had ever seen. It seemed that if he could have his way, he would make the little Queen of the Footlights the Queen of Portugal." Lily Elsie was a beautiful and accomplished woman, the type that men pursue for marriage and spiritual love. There is another kind of woman that men pursue, not for a lifetime commitment, but for a drunken weekend of lustful debauchery. Women like our number 4 babe of the 1900s, Eva Tanguay, the I don't care girl. Eva Tanguay was more than just a star on vaudeville. She was one of a kind, blending beauty with body, comedy, and song, displaying a pair of shapely legs, a self-deprecating humor, and songs written just for her, such as I Can't Help It, Whistle and Help Me Along, Egotistical Eva, and I Don't Care. And Eva Tanguay truly didn't care. Her whole self was there on stage for all to see, unreserved and unashamed. At the time, since Oscar Wilde's scandalous play, the risque Bible story of Salome and John the Baptist was popular, and Salome's seductive dance became part of several vaudeville acts. But it was Eva Tanguay's Salome, her dance of the 7 veils, that outdid them all. When Eva danced Salome, she stripped down to almost nothing and made love to the severed head of St. John the Baptist. No one else dared go that far. But Eva didn't care. Although Eva Tanguay was not above skull-fucking a dead holy man on stage, comedy was her true calling, and her greatest fame was as a musical comedy star. As the Cleveland Plain Dealer of October 8, 1911 described Eva Tanguay, "The rather eccentric antics of Miss Tanguay reflect the manners or the thought of our generation. They reflect a national tendency, the nervous, reckless, devil-may-care tendency to speed. It is the age of the dynamo, the airship, hustle, bustle, and thoughtlessness, quivering like quicksilver, darting hither and thither like a restless cub, declaiming her words to the strains of a giddy music, bobbing about like a cork on a restless stream. Miss Tanguay represents something more to the people in the American theater than a song and dance artist. In her animation and restiveness, they see the reflected something of their own mental processes. She drags the thousands of people from older forms of entertainment and offers something else in its place. She would argue, as she does, that people have outgrown horse cars, hand looms, and the treadmill. It is the age of flash, flare, and electricity." By 1910, Eva Tanguay was the highest paid solo act in vaudeville, making an astounding $2,500 a week, which is the equivalent of $85,256 $25. $85,000 a week. From the Brooklyn Eagle, May 16, 1909. Miss Tanguay has been christened the Whirlwind Comedienne. She is exceedingly lively, putting her whole energy into whatever she does, and this is one of the reasons of Miss Tanguay's continued success. By 1916, Eva Tanguay had her own film production company, producing and starring in at least 2 early silents, Energetic Eva and The Wild Girl. But it was her unfettered enthusiasm on vaudeville stages that made Eva Tanguay admired and desired. Comic actresses who can deliver great laughs and good looks accumulate lots of admirers. Eva Tanguay certainly did. So did our next babe, the number 3 beauty of the 1900s, theater and musical comedy star Marie Doro. Marie Doro, actress. Like so many young beauties on the New York theater scene, Marie Doro was working as a chorus girl when she was discovered and propelled to fame. In Marie Doro's case, it was one of the most influential star makers of all, Charles Frohman, the trend-setting producer who gave Marie the break she needed. Frohman took great interest in Marie's career, and Marie described herself as under Frohman's spell. They were probably lovers. Whatever his motivation, Frohman showcased Marie in big-budget, high-class plays for audiences of the powerful and influential. Marie's unrivaled beauty and musical comedy talents did the rest. Other big producers like David Belasco cashed in on Marie's star power. She starred for Belasco in Naughty Anthony on Broadway. From the Richmond Item, March 17, 1902. Naughty Anthony is said to be full of situations that bring the heartiest laughter, and one of the most notable features are new songs and dances. The company is said to be one of the best comedy organizations ever seen here, and is headed by Marie Doro, Anna Held's only rival, and claimed to be the prettiest comedienne on the stage. Soon Marie was performing with the great playwright-actor William Gillette, who took her under his wing and into his bed as they worked together all over the United States and Britain. With the patronage of Gillette and Frohman, there was no theatrical door closed to Marie Doro, and she worked constantly in top-notch productions on Broadway and on tour. Marie mostly played the pretty but dumb ingenue types, but she was admired in private for her wit, charm, and intelligence. From the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, January 13, 1909. Isn't Marie Doro as bewildering with her ancient wisdom as she is bewitching with her voice and her eyes? And doesn't it prove her to be the consummate actress? Elsa Maxwell, who, by the way, is well and favorably known in certain literary and artistic circles of St. Louis society, was unstinted in her praise. You cannot overrate the quality nor the scope of Miss Doro's intellect, she said, nor of her heart. Marie Doro would become an early silent film star and serious Broadway actress after 1910. But it was the first decade of the century when her beauty was her fame and fortune. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch of January 1, 1909 described her like this. Marie Doro is an elf child of an ephemeral nature with a haunting voice and a pair of wondrous eyes. If she has convinced you that she flies away on fairy feet to dwell with cherubims and seraphims when she disappears from your view, then she has deluded you utterly. Marie Doro managed, for the most part, to keep her personal life discreetly out of the newspapers. But sometimes a big juicy scandal can be sexy. And our next babe, the number 2 beauty of the 1900s, got real famous real fast in the center of the biggest scandal of the early 1900s. Number 2, Evelyn Nesbit, model, actress, bad girl. As a teenage model, Evelyn Nesbit inspired artist Charles Dana Gibson as he created his immortal Gibson Girls illustrations. Evelyn also modeled for fine artists, advertisements, calendars, and pin-up photographers. Her face was everywhere. She had been first noticed by a photographer as a child. From the San Francisco Examiner, November 27, 1904. She had a childish wealth of lovely hair and a little gown, the waistband of which seemed rather to reach her shoulders than her kneecaps, of a pair of very little slim legs. She wore little black stockings. She was 12 then. She so attracted the local photographer that he took her picture. It was, one might say, the first chapter in the photographic history of Miss Evelyn Nesbit. Then began the amazing whirl of events in this little girl's life, which have led up to the recent episodes that have made Evelyn Nesbit the most talked of young woman in America. Evelyn began her stage career as a Florodora girl, part of the most beautiful chorus on Broadway, standing out even among other stunning young women. As a chorus girl, Evelyn was well acquainted with theater people and maintained flirtatious relationships with powerful directors and producers, like Ziegfeld's sworn enemy, Sam Schubert. These rich and powerful men enjoyed and returned her attentions for the most primitive of reasons. Evelyn was an extremely attractive young woman. From the Jersey Observer, January 23, 1907. Her beauty captivated the artists, and she became the model, then scarcely 16 years old, for such painters as Carroll Beckwith, Carl Blenner, and Charles Dana Gibson. Of distinct brunette type, her eyes deep blue, the skin of ivory and rose tint, and a figure petite and svelte, Evelyn Nesbit soon became the leading model of the country. People in the art world already knew Evelyn Nesbit. A great scandal would make her a household name everywhere in the world. On June 25, 1906, Evelyn's husband, spoiled millionaire Harry Kendall Thaw, shot Evelyn's lover, architect Stanford White, killing him publicly at the rooftop theater of Madison Square Garden. The newspapers went crazy with the story. It had everything: sex, passion, sex, murder, sex, and a very beautiful young woman. And did I mention sex? From the Jersey Observer, January 23, 1907. The millionaire prisoner believed that Stanford White was seeking to separate him from his wife, the beautiful Evelyn Nesbit Thaw, the artist's model. Emotional insanity will be the defense offered to save the young Pittsburgh youth from execution in the electric chair in Sing Sing prison. A trial was begun that will remain perhaps forever on the pages of criminal history in all New York without a parallel. All the elements of a tragedy are woven into the warp and woof of his case. All the characters of the stage world and of the gay bohemia of a great city. A titled sister, a countess, a beautiful artist model known all over the world, choreographers and dancers, a famous architect whose love of youth and beauty brought his violent death, and a youthful spendthrift millionaire play leading parts in this tragedy that had for its ending the shooting of Stanford White by Harry Thaw on the crowded and gaily lighted roof of Madison Square Garden. Overnight, Evelyn Nesbit became the most talked about bad girl in the world. Because men killed and died for her, Evelyn Nesbit was the second most desired babe of the 1900s. Choosing a number one beauty for the 1900s is a difficult task. It's not like some French magazine held a contest where thousands of women submitted photos to be judged for the title of World's Most Beautiful Woman. Oh wait, that contest did happen, and the number one babe of the 1900s totally won. That beauty was Maude Fealy, actress. From the Philadelphia Inquirer, May 10, 1903. An American girl and actress, Miss Maude Fealy, has the satisfaction of being declared the most beautiful woman in the world. In a contest in which there were 30,000 competitors, she was chosen as the perfect type of beautiful womanhood. The Figaro Illustré of Paris originated the contest and conducted it, offering a prize. Miss Fealy is a Western girl, her home being in Denver, Colorado. Photographer Burr McIntosh won the prize money for submitting the photo. Maude Fealy wound up with the title of Most Beautiful, more valuable than money to an ambitious actress. But even before the contest, Maude had already enjoyed an extraordinary life as a popular stage personality. From the Knoxville Journal and Tribune, June 28, 1903. Miss Fealy is one of the most beautiful women on the modern stage. She has large, lustrous, pensive eyes, and her features are delicately molded and refined. It is but a few years ago that she, a slip of a girl, came out of the West and began to vie for stage laurels with older and more hardy women. Her rise was swift, and today she occupies an enviable position on the American stage. Having been a juvenile actress in stock productions, Maude was cast at 15 as Juliet in an incredibly successful Romeo and Juliet. That role led to a more mature role in Quo Vadis, although Maude was only 17 at the time. Quo Vadis brought Maude the attention of William Gillette, who cast her as the female lead Alice Faulkner in his 1901 big-budget touring production of Sherlock Holmes. In 1901, the legitimate theater, as defined by Broadway, was the very pinnacle of entertainment industry. William Gillette as Sherlock Holmes, in his own adaptation, was the hottest commodity in legitimate theater. Opening in 1899 on Broadway as a smash hit, this 1901 revival tour was highly anticipated and heavily publicized. William Gillette was pushing 50 at the time, but remained a dashing figure both on and off stage. Soon, Gillette and the much younger Maude Fealy were romantically involved, and reports of their impending marriage filled the theater and gossip columns. From the Memphis, Tennessee Commercial Appeal, October 19, 1901. Maude Fealy to wed. Rumor has it that she will become the bride of William Gillette. When William Gillette returns to the United States, he will probably bring his leading lady, Maude Fealy, as his bride. It is understood by the members of the company that the actor-dramatist and Miss Fealy are already engaged. Gillette has been in love with the little actress for more than a year, even while he was starring in the States in Sherlock Holmes. Owing to Miss Fealy's youth and the objection of her mother, no engagement was sanctioned. Mrs. Fealy feared that Maude was too young to know her own mind. Miss Fealy is only 17 years and 5 months old at present. It is believed that Mr. Gillette and Miss Fealy will be married here at the conclusion of his London engagement. The marriage never happened, and soon after the Sherlock Holmes tour concluded, talk of the engagement quietly ceased. Gillette went on to seduce many other young actresses, including our number 3 beauty, Marie Doro, who played the supporting role of Clarice in Gillette's 1905 tour of Sherlock Holmes. Maude Fealy would go on to 3 failed marriages and continued stardom on stage and later screen. Maude Fealy's reputation as a great beauty continues to this day. Even before the magazine contest, Maude Fealy's profound beauty was well known throughout the English-speaking world. The French merely confirmed what America and England already knew. All the most desirable women of the first 10 years of the 20th century were entertainers. No royal beauties or gorgeous heiresses like in previous decades. Popular show business was now the cultural force that defined, discovered, displayed, and sold female beauty and sexual desirability to the rest of the world. The entertainment industry was taking its oversized place in forming America's thoughts and tastes, a place it still occupies today. Not to take anything away from our 5 beauties, they deserve every admirer they collected along the way.